Hey guys, welcome back. Today, we start this project. And I know you don't know what it is right now, but you will soon. Stay tuned. Okay, so you can see what we're doing, guys. So what we did is we basically took this 2-inch pipe and took about 1 inch out of it and slid it over, and we're Frenching it onto this. That way you can see that the main weight, this is obviously the bottom side, but the main weight will be supported across, and there's no separation in the two pieces that go and actually support the weights on both ends to where the spindles will be. I will make a strap that goes from here to here and there to there. That way, no matter what, there is no chance for it to want to bounce or lose its rigidity. So anyway, that's where we're at. Cleaning these guys up, and then we'll add the 2 straps. Guys, this is a really easy way to take up slack in your hitch. You know, there's a lot of slop in these things, and they're generally engineered to be that way, but sometimes there's a little too much. So quick trip, thin metal washers, put your hitch in place, slide one in until it takes up the gap, and then that's what you need. Now there's still an 1/8 of an, or excuse me, about a 1/16 of an inch of play, but this right here takes the majority of it up. Just a quick tip. So guys, here's what I was talking about, the brace. So that'll just support these legs, even though they've got the straight main that goes across. This will be a secondary point of attachment. And again, a second point of rigidity. And so again, that's what we're doing. When you're engineering things, just think about lateral support and supporting what and where the weight will be. So since the weight will be out here, this is just a good reinforcement for the welds that's sitting right there. Okay. You see I've been busy in the shop. This is the piece that we were working on just a little bit ago. We got that straightened, and then basically what I did is I took a 1.25 inch full saw bit, drilled the vertical holes, and then ran the shaft for these pivot points through, welded them on top, on bottom, and then seamed them on the insides. That's pretty simple. That's about all I did, and then made a back plate for the catches. So I wanted to get you to this point. This kit I get off of Amazon. It's what I built for the JL as well. It's by EMS Offroad, and it's pretty simple. It's the spindle bearing rod, and then comes the bearings in this sleeve and these clasps. Now, it'll be a double swing out, obviously, and so at this point, basically now you can kind of understand why I wanted to make it rigid right here, because with this plate on top and this plate down below, when these things come, a lot of the weight will be split. So instead of the outside carrier plates carrying all the weight, now when you close this, half the weight will be there, half the weight will be here. And essentially what's gonna happen is this will be in this fashion right here, right? And so what we'll do is there'll be a clasp right here, and this will reach over, grab it, and we'll pull down and lock it in. So 2 things are happening right now. So not only is this going to be holding it inward against this back plate, but also it's supported vertically. So it'll kind of handle the bouncing and jouncing as well. So that's why I wanted to do it this way versus the way I had done it with the JL. And with the JL, I had it set this way. I kind of didn't like that. I didn't feel like it covered both axes, this one and this one. And I feel this one will. Because again, one of it is the tension pulling into the plate. Secondly is the weight of the arm and the tire on the arm forcing downward. So that's basically where we're at right now. And this will be done the same way, so we'll have double swing outs. This isn't a really complicated job. It's just about taking your time and getting everything measured out. You'll wonder about the jacks. Basically, I have that because you know that there's natural play in a hitch. And so I've just got it set at level and just kind of hanging out there. That way, when I push on one side or the other, it doesn't change what's going on. Okay. I'm sorry guys, I'm slow moving. It's Saturday, it's really cool outside, which is weird considering what time of year it is. Here in Amarillo, it's usually hot, hundreds. But anyway, this is kind of what I've got going on, and so now you can kind of better see it illustrated and how it works. So Obviously, we'll put a catch pin back here to make, you know, a pull pin that's on the spring, so when you pull it, you can lock it where you want it. And that's pretty much it. So, and you can see how nice it shuts. I mean, it shuts really, really well. But once you get it, you want to build everything and get everything tacked in first, and several tacks so that one pulling the other doesn't manipulate it or bend it. And you know, you want all, I don't know why, I'm going to show you guys, but you want all your edges to always be flat, right? So that's something, you know, as a fabricator, I want you guys to work on. See, look at this. Like, that's 3 separate faces, 4. So that's something you want to work on and concentrate on. Like, if you're in a hurry, don't build it, because if you're a young fabricator and you're learning like that, you're just going to do stuff that you don't want to do, and you're not going to be happy with it. So take your time when you're building stuff like this. You know, make sure that you're doing what you need to do. It's slow and methodical. But again, remember, you know, I talked about this in the last video, that when you're welding, you're pulling the metal back and forth. So it may fit this way, but if you go running seams and you go to shut it or something, it may be bent or up or down, and then you're starting over. So anyway, conceptually, this is how it'll work. I'll put a piece in here that stands off, and the tire plate will be about like this. So that rear tire will mount right in this area here. And so that way when you swing it open, it's still clear of the door, but it's kind of where it's at, right? So high enough to where you can at least get the door to about here. Because there is, I think the difference in the rim is about 7 inches. So it'll stand off in this guy at least 7 inches for the depth of the rim. So that's kind of how it'll be. So anyway, let's keep rocking on. Okay, look at that. So I think now you guys can kind of understand how it's taking shape. I don't want to move this guy yet. I just finished tacking him in, but I think this is gonna make me very happy. And again, remember, we're gonna use this as a recovery point here with the shackle. But then, as far as the bumper goes, we still have the ability to use our exterior reverse lights, and that'll help. Tire here, probably camp table here, and then here. There's a world of options. So I think what I'll do, honestly, is we'll have, I'll do shovel, axe, Widowmaker, and then roto packs and chainsaw. I think that'll be encompassed on this. Because again, you see how much distance is between here and there. I want to say I measured it, but I don't remember exactly. It's around 8 inches from here to the back of the tailgate. So that's plenty of room for the jack base and all that stuff. And I think that's what I'll do, is I think I'll have the jack on the inside, probably shovel and axe on the inside, and then chainsaw on the outside with the roto packs. And I'll probably stack the roto packs here and then have the chainsaw here vertical. And I think that will be a super utility-based swing, hitch swing, tire carrier, whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm not sure how much this weighs right now. I was able to hang the front bumper this morning by myself. So this is going to weigh less than that, and it's pretty light as it is. But I would guess if you were to put it all together, maybe you've got 100 pounds here, so you get a 100-pound tire. Now you're 200 pounds. And this hitch that I went with had a tongue rating of 350 to 500 pounds. Well, I went ahead and gusseted stuff up, gusseted this up, gusseted that up, and added some beefing up to kind of make sure that I got the 500 pounds, because I think with all this, we're probably going to be 300 pounds. But I just wanted to make sure. So keep that in mind when you're building this. You know, your hitch weight and your, what we call tongue weight, matters how much you can put on it. So be mindful about that. Other than that, guys, it's time for finish welding. So I'm not gonna bore you with that. Remember, I'll kind of seam, and then let that side go, and I'll seam, and then let this side go, and then I'll turn it over to the back side and do a few there, and I'll do that all the way around this thing until I've got them all done. The last thing I have to add as far as a mod is I need to build a plate right here that I can put the latch attachment for the handles, because it'll come up and it'll hook on this and you'll snap them down. So that's really all I have left to do as far as fab. Everything is built. I may cut 2 plates to fit on here, and what I'll do is I'll just riv nut them in instead of weld them. That way they won't be solid. I'll just riv nut them, and that way we can do any kind of interchanging we want with them. If I had eventually decided I wanted it to open because I wanted to change something different here, I would open that up. But anyway, that's what it is, guys. Get out there and build. It's fun. Okay, guys, here it is. Now you can see the lock capture I was talking about. So right here, the lock mechanism will be vertical with the handle, and this is attached to the back plate. So it'll release a catch right here. So it'll go up, grab the catch, and snap down. And this way, it's captured in here because it's a box, obviously. It's got this Teflon spacer on the bottom, or ABS spacer on the bottom where it can't go down. It's got one on the back to be forced in. And again, the top would catch any kind of out of the ordinary slack if something were to happen. It's very tight in there. There's probably something like a quarter between here and the actual top of this plate. So, but now I think it's better to understand how it's gonna work. See? And it goes in there and just sets on that thing perfect. Now, remember, you can do one of 2 things. So, I was reading a bunch before I started building this, and a lot of people said they want to plumb it and get it exactly level. And that's fine. Mine is slightly angled back. The pivots over here on each end are slightly angled back about a 1/16. That way, its natural motion is to close, not open. You don't want it to naturally want to swing open and slam your truck, right? You want its natural reaction to close. So, again, just be mindful when you're building and things like that, and then I think you guys will be fine, because I think you guys can be good fabricators if you just take your time and pay attention to the things that guys that do. Hey, so this is kind of where we're trying to get to. Mostly everything's finished welded. I'm kind of doing the final mock-up of where the actual rubber stoppers are going to be, and the bracket pieces, and of course the locks. And now, and these aren't bolted in, but I wanted to kind of show you, you know, pretty simple action, right? So, all you do is pop this up, and you bring this over, and it releases from that clip, and you can open it. So, the reason why I went with these is, again, because I thought that it would give me the best locking power. Now, the only thing that I'm worried about, I just got to thinking about these, is the bouncing. You know, and now this is gonna be, I'm gonna have it pretty tight. Will it pop loose? If it's loose, maybe. So that'll be something to kind of watch for on the trail. But I also may consider, I don't know, putting a safety pin in somewhere in the action, so that I know it can't pop open, right? So right here in the center is a little open area, and I could weld a tab sticking through here. That way when you lock it in place, it comes up between these 2 pieces. There's already a hole drilled, and maybe that's what that's for, but with this hole, I could run a simple pin, just a push pin right through it. kind of hope that it doesn't open like this. Now, again, I'm gonna run it pretty dang tight, so mine on the JL never came open, and I used one similar. The only difference is I installed it this way, so it clipped that way. Could that matter? I don't know. Could a different type of inertia or movement cause it to pop open? Possibly this way, but I guess we'll just see. Other than that, this is what I'm working with. I kind of rethought my situation with making an additional spare tire mount over here, and I just can't do that because I think it's going to take up my space. What I'm going to do is on the back side here, I'm going to put a plate, and that'll house my high lift jack, shovel, and axe. And then on the front side here, I'm going to make a plate that comes out here about so far where I can stick a couple of my boxes, the two main boxes. I hate going in and out of the vehicle, in and out of the vehicle, in and out of the vehicle for two things, recovery and air stub. So I'm going to actually have them housed right here, and then my chainsaw mount vertically here. So everything that's dirty and gets dirty and that you use often, airing up, airing down, and just generally that gets dirty, will be right here, housed right here. And that way, it's not something we have to take in and out whenever we're doing everything else. But anyway, this is my idea. I hope you like it. The next time you'll see it, you'll probably see it painted and conceptualized and on the truck. So I've got less than 2 weeks. I've been building this truck. I've only had 3 weeks to build it. That's the front bumper, the back bumper, this. Now, once I finish here, I'm gonna have to move to the bed system. I need to build a small rack for the camper. I'm in the process of sanding it and painting it. So 3 weeks is really all I got. And 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays is not always enough. So let's keep bumping on, guys. Here it is, guys. My rendition of a tire carrier swing out. Now, about all that's left to do is paint it. And I mean, it works, like a simple, traditional tire swing out. Just like a normal one would. I haven't put the lock mechanisms in it and the catches, but I think this video is pretty much long enough. So basically what I'm gonna do is you're gonna see me paint it, and I'll shoot some pictures of it painted, put them in the end. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for following me on this journey. If you liked it, remember to like, share, and comment. Tell your friends about it. Also, we launched a Patreon for all the stuff that I do on this channel and everything that I use to buy this stuff. Anyway, that's what it is, guys. I'll shoot you guys some pictures at the end of the video and let you kind of see what it looks like when it's all finished. And I'm pretty happy. Things are coming together.